Okay. Thank you,
Got it.
Shawanda, for thank you for like just being ready to jump in and off the cuff because you are just about to like go down a really important conversation. So everyone that's watching, it's your girl Michelle Emtre Hollis with Shawanda. It's our first time meeting each other. We've
Yeah.
just like we've just had like a fireside. We've had like a fireside connection here as we've went down the Michael Jackson rabbit hole and just really bonded on just what people bond upon, which is music and caring about people and the planet. And so now I'm just the reason that I decided to record is because I know her story is already about to be amazing. But one of the things that we were just talking about is the gap in with women in sales. So yes, Shawanda, if you don't mind, yeah, can you just run that back a little bit, just like how your journey there, because we didn't get too far into it before I was like,
Yes.
oh, this is going to be good. Let me get this
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So I, been in sales pretty much my whole life. However, it was kind of starting off in telemarketing, and then it was moving into working at a financial services institution where I was helping to, service and sell consumer loans. Well, of course, that's people calling in, and I know what they want at that time. I know they have an interest, and so it's just giving them the instructions on how
That's
to
right.
apply for the loan, right? Well, I had a friend back in about 2006 that reached out to me and said, listen, you should try to look at getting into B2B sales. Well, I had no earthly clue what B2B sales was. I thought I was already in B2B sales because I just heard sales.
Right.
But I
Right.
wasn't. It was more B2C that I was doing. And so I applied for the position. I got the position. And at that time, it was okay. You've got to really, grind and figure out what it is that you're doing so you can succeed in this particular job. So it
Can
took
I
me
ask you
quite
a
a
quick
bit.
question?
Yeah.
Um, was the difference at that time, when did it hit you when you realized, like with B2B, that you were the one who was going to be contacting people now? Is that the main difference between B2B and B2C?
To me, that is the main huge difference. But I noticed that there were a ton of transferable skills that I had in B2C, which
Yes.
was customer service, building relationships, asking questions, that is definitely transferable to B2B sales. One of the things that I had to really key in on and learn was what a persona was. I had to
Okay.
also learn how to find triggers about a particular organization or company in order to reach out to them and get them interested in speaking with me, which was
Okay.
brand new for me. And so I had to learn through all of that. And I talk about this in the book that I contributed a chapter to that just recently released in March called Heels to Deals.
Yes.
And it's a compilation of about 30 different women and the women in B2B sales. And it talks about their journey and things like that. So one of the things I
Yeah.
actually talk about this story in that. And I recall when I first started, I would call my mom like almost every day. And I would say, Mom, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I make the right
Yeah.
decision.
Oh,
And she
wow.
said, the first thing she said was, honey, I need you to get in front of fear and think about it as face everything and rise.
Woo!
I was like,
Mama.
yeah, I was
Mama's
like,
coming through with the personal development, man.
she came through. She came
Yeah.
through with that.
Face everything
So,
and
and
rise.
rise. Yes. So
Love that.
between my mom and then having my husband at home that was telling me, no, you got this. You got this. Just do this. I'm going to help you with this. I'm going to help. I mean, it was like boom. It's just like mine was blown after a few months. And then I started grinding. And next thing I know, became top sales rep and things like that. And so then I started moving up the ladder.
Mhm.
Um, and then I became a team lead. And then I also became leading some of the same people that trained me when I first came into the company. Until this day,
Wow.
I am actually leading and managing some of the same people that trained me when I first came into the company. And it is an absolute honor
That's a
to do that.
blessing.
It's a blessing. And one of the things, so I call my role kind of like a player coach role because I'm still an
Okay.
individual contributor and I still have my own target that I've got to hit, but then
Okay.
I also have a team target and I've got to help my team grow, right? I've got to
I
help
think that's a
them get to
great
their target.
model. What do you
It's
say?
an awesome model. I tell you, I have done it for about 6 years now.
Okay.
And if you read books, books will tell you, you know what, you can't do it. It's a conflict of interest. It's you can't balance your time. You can't do this. You can't do that. Well, I did it and I made it work for 6 years. Well, COVID hit, and I started thinking, I started becoming more concerned about my team than I was about myself hitting target. So
Ooh, now
my thing was,
that's a transformation in leadership.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And so I saw the change and I said, oh my gosh, I was like, I need to make sure that they're mentally okay, that they're physically okay, that they're emotionally okay, right? I know I'm fine. I'm not going to worry about that. So I literally almost stopped prospecting to make sure that I was having many calls with them, helping them prospect, helping them get into strategy, because my whole goal was I want this whole team that I manage to hit President's Club, to hit their target, and to be happy, right?
Be
And
happy
so
doing it.
be happy doing it. And so
That's a
that
blessing.
that is when I finally my eyes opened up and I said, okay, wait a minute. Am I going to be able to sustain doing 100% on both ends,
Mm,
right?
okay.
Or do I need to look at maybe just moving directly into a leadership role where I'm not an individual contributor, so I have that time and I can focus 100% of my attention on helping to inform, inspire, and impact my team, right?
Okay. Okay.
Um, and so it, I still think about that till this day. I will tell you that I'm still an individual contributor. Plus,
Inform, inspire, and impact.
yes, that
That's
is actually
beautiful.
that's my passion. I really everything that I commit to and I put my heart to is it's those three words. I am out to make sure that I am, inspiring them to want to grow and not
Mhm.
just go through life, but I like to say grow through life, right? So just
Yes.
continue to grow through
Yes.
life, whatever it is you're doing. Make an impact on the biggest amount of people that I can. But you know what? Even if that's one person, I'm happy because
That's right.
that's one more person that may not have gotten, some inspiration or impact if
That's
I
right.
didn't give it to them, right? Or help them with it.
Yes.
And then inform them, right? So inform them, celebrate the small and the big wins, but also inform them when they're not doing something they should be doing or they're not doing something right, because it's about transparency. It's about
Yes.
realness. Um,
Because we really, this is what I had to learn the hard way, the hard way over life, especially over the past few years. And as I'm, now just really launching and have after having found where I belong, which is in the SaaS space because I absolutely love it. And what I had to, the creativity and the authenticity and the opportunity for unity and diversity and transparency and everything. But what I realize is that when we're not honest with people, and this is great for prospecting, so this may help your team even,
yes,
it's a holy shift is what I call it, the holy shift, because we're enabling people when we
yes.
don't tell them the truth.
You're
When we don't
absolutely, you're
when we
absolutely
don't keep
right.
it 1000, it doesn't do them well.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And my team knows there are no surprises. There
Yeah.
are things that as a sales manager, we have to do from a KPI perspective. And you've got to have your
Mhm.
reviews and you've got to meet your metrics and stuff like that. Well,
That's right.
for me and my team, there are no surprises because I am consistently working with you to make sure that, hey, you're doing a great job and I want you to keep going. Or you know what? Let's talk about how we can work on improving this metric or improving this goal. Because to
Yeah.
me, you're not a number. Like you are an individual
Yeah.
that yes wants to hit that number because in the long run you're going to make more commission, you're going to make more money, right?
Right, which is going to be the ripple effect of the wave of
Exactly.
fortune.
Exactly. But at the same time, it's like, hey, I want you to grow as a person. Let me
Yeah,
understand what your motivations are because money may not be your motivation.
that's
It
right.
may be being able to spend time with your family more. It may be, something else that's more personal. And if I know that ahead of time, you know what? I'm going to help you get there too. Like it
That's
doesn't have to be just
right.
work related. And so
Align it. Align
it,
it.
it yeah,
It's just align and it's alignment, and you can only and I'm so glad that you said that because like because what I came to realize is that I'm a sales confidence coach. So I support sales enablement and the rev ops to help their teams get go from being sales nervous to giving 5-star service. And I like to call myself the bridge of confidence. But that's exactly what I say. How do you do that?
Yeah.
You align your agent and your representative's personal goals with the company's sales targets, and you when you can align, that's equity. Now that's real equity. That's also inclusion, and then
Hmm.
that's also recognizing that everyone's goal and why is different, and that's diversity. So that's the deeper meaning of the DEI.
Absolutely. And then you talk about DEI. I mean, this is going to be probably mind blowing to you, but I always tell women, especially, that it is never too late. And I'm going to tell you why I say that.
I love it.
I've been in sales for 16 plus years. It wasn't until probably 2 years ago that I became very passionate and an advocate about getting more women into sales
Okay.
because I had no idea about the gender gap in sales.
Yes, please explain that.
So it was around the time COVID hit. As you remember, all the George Floyd stuff was going on, police brutality against African Americans, all of that was
Yeah.
going on. And so listening and looking at all the news, I started to feel like, oh my God, wait a minute. I turned it around to my job situation and I said, oh my God, wait a minute. It's not just social injustices going around in the world, but there's also a lack of women in sales based on the stats and the factual data that I was
Okay.
coming across from
Okay.
just researching, talking to people, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And so I said, oh my God, all these years I've been naive to understanding that women were not getting promoted as fast as men were in the sales world. It took me, 14 plus years to figure out that men are being hired based on their potential, where women are being hired based on their experience.
That's
Man,
so true, and that's wrong.
it's all wrong. It's all wrong. And it
Yeah.
took me that long to figure that out. But you know what? It was because someone brought that education to me,
Thank
put it
you.
in my head,
Yeah.
and then it was up to me to figure out, am I going to go continue to research this and really figure out the truth behind all the data and what's going on here? And so as I started doing that, I was like, I've got to figure out and make a change. I started looking around and saying, am I the only one that looks like me? Well, yeah. Well, then also, am I the only one in leadership that looks like me? Well, yeah. Well, oh my God, the statistics are now showing that even women of color in sales leadership is in the single digits. Oh
Oh,
my God,
yeah.
what's going on here?
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so that's when I started getting on, trying to be an advocate and joining the journey of, trying to close that gap and educate more women about coming
Mhm.
into B2B sales, because it is not as intimidating as it probably is, it seems from the outside looking in. And again, it's based off of what people tell you, right? And so that's kind of been my passion the last, I would say, year and a half, is just getting my story out there, but then
Yes.
also talking to other women. And I'm talking from high school level, college level, and up, to say this is a viable career option, and you can make a lot of money and you can still have the flexibility to do things that you want to do. If you're a
See, that's
mother,
beautiful. Yes.
you can still be that PTA mom and soccer mom and still actually be a B2B, a successful B2B saleswoman or leader, right?
Right.
So
Right.
just trying to use and at one point I just thought, I don't have a story. Like, I'm just in sales. I'm pretty good at sales. That's it. I don't have a story.
But
Well,
you
like I
do.
did, but
Yeah.
I
Your
did.
your your support team, your support system. And I think you now embody that because you know what it did for you, and that's what you bring to your team. So is your team hit, did they hit President's Club?
They did hit President's
I
Club.
knew
So
they did. I knew
COVID,
that was a trick question
yes,
because I just wanted to
yes,
make sure we did. I mean, I didn't know because you
absolutely.
told me, but I knew because I just felt it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
They did.
she's getting
It
her goal.
Listen, it was an awesome time. Now I did not hit President's Club that year, but it kind of, I wasn't nervous about it at all. I was kind of
That
like, you
wasn't
know
your
what?
goal. You set your goal to something else. That's a
I said,
blessing. Wow. Different
I'm
kind of
trying to
leaders.
serve others. Yeah, I'm trying to serve others before I serve myself, right?
That's right.
And
It's going to come back around, or
it
if it
has.
already hasn't, I'm
It
sure it
has.
has
Listen, it
been.
has, and I am just continue to push forward. And of course, after that COVID year, I definitely continued on and hitting President's Club, and majority of my
I know
team
that's
actually
right.
was hitting it too. So I was like, there's enough for everybody here.
Yeah. Whoa. What you just said is actually so profound. So I'm gonna just make sure that I amplify that before we end, because this is a great place to amplify that before we end. What you just said, you were willing to put your, accolades, what was possible for you on pause, not done,
Yeah,
but you put it on pause to pour that into your team. As a result, the next year, you and several everybody hit President's Club.
absolutely.
And what did that
Absolutely.
look like for the bottom line in the rep for your revenue operations? I mean, was that
Listen,
powerful?
it was very powerful. It was probably one of the highest revenue producing years for us as a company. And not only
Boom.
the company, but even just my group alone, right? And
Yes.
it goes back to, motivating people, giving them that little push that they could do it. But then again, also helping them along the way when they do need help. And so, I every time I have a call or I talk to my reps, first thing, or when we get off the call, the first thing I'm saying is, hey, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns? Because I
Yeah,
want to hear all of that,
that's
right?
right.
And I'm here to make sure that if you do have a challenge, that we help to remove that challenge so you can continue to keep moving. But then
Yeah.
also, I'm also interested in making sure that you grow. And guess what? If it's not growing here at this particular company and you want to go off to another company, I am happy for you. As long as you are happy, I am happy.
That's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
So,
It's called,
it's
like you said, transparency,
it is.
because there it doesn't do any good to hide the truth. You know what I mean? In
No,
any way. In any
no.
way. So when somebody lets you know what their motivation is, or if somebody's having an issue with a family member that's got a drug addiction, or they have one, these are things that people don't want to talk about, or they're hard subjects. And I know with HR that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah,
However, empowering people to take care of themselves is really, that's, if when you do that, they will figure out the rest when you just
absolutely.
open that door for them, right?
Absolutely. And let's just be real. And things that happen in our personal life, they affect our work life. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
in sales, and I need and I want them to talk to me about these things because it helps me to make sure that I am empathizing and sympathizing with them and
Yeah.
helping them through this challenge. You know what?
That's right.
Hey, I understand you may be going through this. How about, if you need to take some time off, let's do it,
Or
because
use your medical benefit,
use your medical
use your
benefits.
therapies. A lot of times people don't use their preventive benefits,
They don't. They don't.
you
Because they
know?
and they just think, this is the first time this has happened to me. I'm just going to live through it. I'm going to go through it.
Yeah,
But you don't have to do it alone,
that's right.
and it just the supportive system that you can have in place to help you cope through whatever it is that you're going through,
Yeah,
is always great to have. And I know that it's hard to speak out because you never know who can you trust, who can you not
that's
trust.
right.
That's
That's
a
a
hard
big one.
thing.
That's a
It's
big
a
one.
hard thing. Yeah,
So when you can empower your employees and let them know that it's okay to not be okay, that's the reason that we have the benefits. And then, of course, as a leader in the company, that them utilizing their benefits and taking that time off is going to be better for them. It's going to make them a better employee, a lot of times more loyal and grateful. And they're like, yo, where am I going to go to get this? You know what I'm saying? Where am
yeah,
I going to go to get this? Now I get to produce, because I really, sometimes all people need is just a conversation or two. Like a lot of times they
absolutely.
don't even really need much, but just someone to talk to. That is medically trained to make sure that there's not more going on. You know what I mean? So, sometimes I think as good people and leaders, and sometimes we let people. Sometimes we might take on too. We want to make sure. Let me put it a different way. We want to make sure we're not taking on too much of their problems. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And that
Yes.
we're empowering them, not enabling them. It goes right back to that in every way. But when you empower people, you really just get a great benefit, don't you?
You
You get
absolutely
the
do.
best out of them.
You absolutely do. And you know what? They go harder. They go harder for you
Yeah,
as, the person that has helped me. They're going to go harder for you.
that's
They
right.
definitely, and it's so funny because I hear it time and time again. My employees will say, I'm going to do everything I need to do because I definitely don't want you to look bad because my KPIs are bad. And I go, hey, don't worry about me. I want you to do the best that you can do because you want to do it.
That's
Right.
right. But
And don't
that's
worry about me.
teamwork. That's teamwork,
Yeah,
though, isn't it?
it is.
So, can
It
you
really is.
tell everyone what you do and how they can and what would be a good client for your company, or or whatever it is that you want people to know or want to ask people to follow you by or for.
Yeah, sure. So, okay, so I am a vice president of sales at Frost and Sullivan, and it is a growth strategy advisory and consulting firm. And so, what we do is we actually help businesses to identify, prioritize, and implement growth opportunities so they have a continuous funnel of growth opportunities for their organization.
Nice.
Um, me personally, I work actually with the investment community. So I work with a lot of private equity firms and
Okay.
investment banks. However, our company as a whole, we work with pretty much every business in every industry that you can imagine, right? So, you can always go to Frost and Sullivan to see everything that we do. Me personally, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I am just under Shawanda Roberts, and you will see on some of my posts. I like to post a lot of motivational quotes because I live by motivational quotes. I think that's probably why I'm so energetic and happy all the time because I have that self affirmation every morning. But you will see that I am a very, very big advocate of getting more women into B2B sales and just educating. And again, my whole value proposition for anything that I commit to in life is to inspire, inform, and impact the community that I am around. So, absolutely connect with me if you are interested in following me and getting to know me. I would love to get to know you as well. And if there's anything that I can ever help out with, I'm here as well. That's
Thank
it.
you so much. Okay, this was like completely off the cuff, people, but I think also, we always love to turn this into like the double entendre lesson, another lesson in just getting to know someone. We've just got on a call and we're just getting to know one another. That's that's where
Absolutely.
everything starts. And for the beginning salesperson, the SDR, the BDR out there, and the rev ops, just get to know people, and open your heart and be yourself and listen. And you just never know, what can come from that. But what definitely can come from every conversation is another conversation. So
Absolutely.
that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I
You're
want to thank you.
welcome.
Okay,
You're
we will be
welcome.
back, and I stay tuned. This is Michelle of Emtre Hollis and Shawanda, and Vision Board Music, where we be in harmony and of sound mind, body, spirit, soul, and money with the high five to the vibe. Peace and blessings. Yeah.